I was disappointed that the Beatles chose these albums to represent a new song and the last song, and also for new mixes and all that kind of stuff. Everybody was in a buzz about it, talking and excited and all that kind of stuff, to where I was disappointed, but tried to kind of not say much because I really didn't want to spoil it for everybody else. But I really didn't think this album was worthy enough to have a brand new song, but then a whole remix. We needed other albums that were much better, like Magical Mystery Tour, Rubber Soul, Revolver was great, and Sgt. Pepper and Abbey Road and the White Album. Those were terrific. We enjoyed those box sets. But Rubber Soul was ready and feel as if that was the next one to take part in all of this. And then to find out they threw this at us, I was disappointed. And I was very much thinking about not even getting it, but possibly maybe just getting the CDs, So I thought, well, perhaps maybe I'll just get the CDs and listen to it that way. But, when they made the announcement and discussing and saying that they're going to put it out in colored vinyl, as a lot of you know, Beatle Brad loves colored vinyl, and this is my kryptonite. So when this came out in colored vinyl, being kryptonite, I had to have it. And what did I think of it? Yeah, that's what I thought of it. Oh my gosh, what a fantastic job they did. I really didn't think this was going to happen for this deluxe box set. And I was kind of disappointed because I knew it was going to be a pricey one, and I knew a lot of fans wouldn't be able to afford it. And that's what I don't understand also is, they're putting it out with this box set, which is great, and I'm happy. But a lot of people on an average income, and even me, I had to save up for this one.
Don't blame me, sir. I was led astray.
This is my Christmas and birthday, and next year's Christmas and birthday present. So I get it. It's pricey, but, I got it, and I'm happy. So what I want to do is kind of share with you some of my thoughts and listening to this album for the first time. Of listening to it, I want to kind of run down, not every single song. I want to pick out a few songs that I really feel as if stood out in my mind. So when this came out, the Red and Blue album, I thought, okay, it's the Red and Blue album, yippee, I got this coming. But with this new deluxe box set, this one, right here, with this new box set, it's not going to stay up. I was kind of hoping it would. We were delighted with extra songs that were only just on this album.
Has success changed your life?
I had to set that down. So we were delighted with brand new songs. Well, not brand new, but they were all, I guess in a sense they were brand new songs. Because in this album, a lot of it was just fold down mono, and this was kind of a fold down stereo, and this was kind of mono and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, oh, okay. So, but for the first time for the Red album, we ended up getting that in stereo. And it was fantastic to hear this in stereo, because with these ears, for years, I have been listening to this in mono. And then some of the bootleggers came out with stereo copies, which sounded fantastic. So I was excited to hear this for the first time. So for the Red album, let me start off by telling you some of my songs that I think stand out more than any of the other songs. So I've written down some notes, so kind of bear with me on some of my songs and some of those. So starting off with A Hard Day's Night. Wow. When we start off with that song, Hard Day's Night, not starting off the album, but one of the songs on the album, that one stood out for me because the guitar at the beginning, when it starts off, boom, you're into it, you're rolling, you are in with the Beatles. And A Hard Day's Night is sounding fantastic. Really, really good. And I Love Her is another one that I felt that was a really, really strong track, because you got Paul's vocals, and you you can just feel the passion and the strength of that song, of how beautiful it was. So next up for me, there were several other tracks. I really enjoyed the Red album because a lot of us that have never heard it in stereo, like I said, the bootlegs were out there and all that kind of stuff. But for the average person and a lot of us, we never heard these in stereo. So I was fascinated to play this red one a whole lot more than the blue one. But moving right along, I felt as if Help was a real outstanding song. Help with John's vocals and the rest of the band, and George and Ringo and Paul, that just was absolutely fascinating. I really kind of a loss of words. So I'm kind of winging a lot of my words and guessing what words to choose when I'm saying. But Help was a big, big one. And also the other big one that stood out was Day Tripper. Day Tripper was just magnificent. I mean, the guitar, the separation on it was very good. Some of the songs didn't separate as well as some of the other songs. A lot of them did get muddy in parts, and yeah, it did feel like trash at points of the album because it did not separate as well as some of the other songs. It's almost like they worked harder on some songs than other songs to make them sound like they're in stereo, to where the other ones didn't really come together that well. Like I said, they were quite muddy. Now we're up to the song that I really thought was great, was by Paul vocals of Drive My Car. Wow, this really, really shined through. Yes, we had the Revolver box set, and that was just fantastic. Or as I felt, it was really phenomenal. But Drive My Car seemed to sound a little bit better than the box set. Not by much, but just a little bit better. So Drive My Car really drove it home for me. Yeah.
Give us a kiss.
So next up was Norwegian Wood. Wow, this song is tremendous. John's vocals are so crisp and so clean. You feel like you're sitting right there in the studio as they are mixing that song right now and as it's going on. It was absolutely superb. Most definitely. So I really enjoyed that one a lot. So yeah, Norwegian Wood. Next up was In My Life. Wow. That could almost bring you to tears. That song was just so emotional and so strong. And I'm so glad that they chose to put that in there, because it really pulls at your heartstrings when you hear that song. It really grabs you. And it's just really a fantastic song of that one. And then next up for me, I'm really burned out with this song, Yellow Submarine. I mean, I'm so tired of hearing this and Ringo doing it in concert. Oh my gosh, Ringo has sung this. I know it's his anthem and it's kind of Ringo's song and all that kind of stuff. So don't trash me. Yeah, don't trash me when I say I'm getting burned out of hearing Yellow Submarine. But for this Red and Blue album, particularly the red one we're still on, Yellow Submarine came across beautiful, absolutely fantastic. It kind of gave a whole new breath of oxygen for me for Yellow Submarine. And there's some different instruments in Yellow Submarine that I've never heard before. And that's the way this whole album is. This whole Red album has brought out a lot of instruments and things that I never heard that were buried in deep into these albums. But through Giles mixing these, Giles Martin, George Martin's son, for those of you that are kind of new to my channel or not knowing who he is, they brought a lot of those instruments up, and they brought a lot more of the sound out. So for Yellow Submarine, that really was surprisingly very, very good. I was really happy with that Yellow Submarine. Just tremendous. I really, really enjoyed that. Next up was I Saw Her Standing There. Oh boy, yeah, man, did this sound good. And I really enjoyed the mix of it. It sounded great, and it really, really came together. And that was just fantastic. And then the next song that I really, really enjoyed was the beginning of the guitar, which starts off with George Harrison and then George vocals and just rips right through Roll Over Beethoven. Roll Over Beethoven is one of those songs that I've always felt like, regardless of I'm home or I'm out in the car, that is one that I definitely want to turn up and crank it because it is just an unbelievable song.
He's a nice old man, isn't he? He's very clean.
Next up is You Really Got a Hold on Me. Oh, I've always loved this song, and it's always been a favorite of theirs, I think, because they did it in the BBC sessions and they sang it a lot in the BBCs and all that. And so that song, You Really Got a Hold of Me, I think sounds fantastic. And it's really, really great to hear it in stereo. It sounds beautiful and just tremendous. So yeah, I really am happy to hear that, like I said, for the first time in stereo for all of these. Got to Get You Into My Life. Oh my goodness, the horns in this just boggle my mind of how tremendous Paul McCartney sounds in this. Plus, the rest of the band is just right in with him, and the vocals are fantastic, like I said. But the horns steal this song. It really does. They brought the horns out front, and they don't out-drown the Paul, but they certainly stand out much stronger than they ever did before. And to me, that really brought the song out to sounding absolutely fantastic. And then next up is Taxman. Taxman. Oh my gosh, George Harrison with the dreaded Taxman once again. George was always boggled with the taxes, that's for sure. He was kind of in a rot with all of it, which they were really getting ripped off by taxes, that's for sure. And George wrote this song reflecting on Taxman, and it certainly is true for England, because they certainly were heavily, the Beatles themselves were heavily taxed. So, to make a long story longer, thank you very much, and I'm doing quite well. George Harrison doing this song Taxman, and it sounds just, oh yeah, excellent. It really does. Taxman is just beautiful, and I thoroughly enjoy it. And you know, it came out on Revolver, and it sounded good on Revolver, the box set, and all of the new release on that, but they just kind of punched it up another notch on this one by playing Taxman, and it sounded absolutely great. And then the next one is Here, There, and Everywhere. Oh my goodness. That song probably will be played all the time at weddings and funerals and different occasions and stuff like that. But it's just a beautiful song. Well, maybe not so much funerals. But it just seems like a song that's just an occasional beautiful song. And with this new mix, it's going to be hard to put this Red album down to listen to not pick it up and listen to it again and again and again. And I really just enjoyed Here, There, and Everywhere. So yeah, you're going to debate amongst yourself and with other friends, is the Red album really that good, or is it just trash? Or is some of the tracks better than other tracks? Yeah, you'll kind of go back and forth saying, yeah, there's some better tracks, and you think there are some other tracks that are not as good. So yeah, you kind of will, like I did, I kind of thought some songs were better than others, and others I didn't care for. And now we move on to the album 1966 through 1970, which is now affectionately just called the Blue Album. And this album is really got some fantastic hits on it. So just like the Red one does, it's got a lot of great stuff. But I want to go through some of the songs that I particularly really like on that. Starting off with Ringo. Yeah, Ringo. With a Little Help from My Friends from Sgt. Pepper. Oh, wow. Sgt. Pepper is my go-to album. For those of you who watch my channel or know a little bit about me, my favorite album is Sgt. Pepper. So I am always ready to hear something about Sgt. Pepper, if it's an interview or if it's discussions or whatever is being discussed about this album, Sgt. Pepper. I'm into it. But they really did a fantastic job of mixing with a little help from my friends. It really just sounds terrific. And I'm really pleased with it. It sounds a lot better than I thought it was going to come across, definitely. So that's an excellent track. Okay, now we're up to a song which I never thought was going to happen, but we've run into some controversy in the vinyl community and with other people of talking about the Beatles song that is on this blue set, which is I Am the Walrus. A lot of people do not care for this song. They're disturbed and kind of upset, and they just don't see the reasoning for it. And I get it. I get what you're saying. And yeah, it's not really true to form of the song and all that. But you know, as quirky as it is, Beatle Brad likes it. Yeah, I do. I Am the Walrus. I think it's just different enough to be good. I don't know what more I can say, but yeah, I mean, that song, I really like it, and it's great to hear it in true stereo with it. It's actually fantastic. I'm really glad to hear it, and then so yeah, I'm not going to say much more about it because I like it. So there. But next up, the next song is Magical Mystery Tour. This is certainly a album box set with DVD or whatever you want to call this that does need to be remastered and remixed and everything. And Magical Mystery Tour was a real treat. I really enjoyed this. I mean, the whole song and the instrumentation, the instruments on this song really just rang through as a beautiful song. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. And so much so that I remember a couple of years back, this is, at least 10 years ago, my wife and I went to the symphony. And I never really go to the symphony, but that occasion they were doing Magical Mystery Tour, the whole album, in symphony form. No vocals or anything like that. And after listening to it by symphony and full orchestra, we had everything, it gave me a new love and a new appreciation for the whole album, and kind of realizing there's a lot more symphony instruments in the whole album of Magical Mystery Tour than you kind of realize. So next time you kind of play your CD or vinyl, and you're listening and you're getting up to Magical Mystery Tour, give a listen to Magical Mystery Tour and the rest of those others in there, and just kind of pick out, if you can, the symphony part and just how good the whole symphony part of it is. And you may say, Beatle Brad, I'm not into symphony. I like rock and roll. Well, yeah, so do I. I love to rock out too. But just for a moment, kind of tune everything else out and just kind of listen to the symphony part. It's very beautifully done. It really is.
How do you feel? I used to use my hands. He used to use his hands.
This next song, I want to thank XM Beatles radio station for ruining it for me. It's like, for those of us that have got XM Beatles channel, oh my gosh, I am so tired of hearing Hey Jude. It's like, top of the hour, time to play Hey Jude. It's top of the hour, time to play Hey Jude. And it's just, that's the way it seems. So Hey Jude has been ruined by XM for me. It's just, the song has been just trashed. That's my theme for the video. Trashed. So Hey Jude is absolutely ruined. But for this new mix of hearing Hey Jude, it is very smooth and very beautiful. And I tolerated it. I got through the song. Yes, I did. Thank you very much. But I really thought it was actually very good. And I really kind of enjoyed Hey Jude. It was really very pleasant. So I really liked listening to Hey Jude. And then next up, the fantastic Haunting Song of George Harrison. This song is just, without a doubt, probably, I think, one of George Harrison's best songs, While My Guitar Gently Weeps. I'm pausing because I've got nothing. Just over the top of how beautiful that is. And it's just, yeah, I've got nothing. And this was kind of a twist. The Ballad of John and Yoko. This was interesting to hear this in there. And I really liked it. I've always liked this song. Always thought it was kind of a nice, happy, catch tune song and all that kind of stuff. Yes, it's only Paul and John and all that kind of stuff, but still, it's great. And the new instrumentation, Paul playing drums and John's vocals and all that for the Blue album, I liked it. Hey, Mikey, he likes it. It's one of our commercials here in America years ago about cereal. Yeah. But yeah, anyway. So yeah, so that was a great song. I really was surprised to hear that, of how terrific that song really was. And I really liked it a lot. Next up is Something, another George Harrison classic. Oh, yeah, you can't put an album of greatest hits out without Something. And it was something. To play on words, it really was something. And there were some different instruments in that I've never heard too. So it was just excellent. I thoroughly enjoyed Something a lot, to where it's one of those that gets in your ear and you're like, I want to hear that again. I just didn't catch all of the whole vocals and everything. It was very beautiful, very moving, that song. And yeah, like I said, it was something, all right. Yeah, great song. This one was one of my favorites. This one stood out probably on the album more so than any song, was Across the Universe. Whew. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, what a song. What a fantastic song. I mean, this song, I feel as if it was done so well and sounded so fantastically good that this could almost be a Beatles anthem of the Beatles, of how fantastic. Yeah, we've got the choir in this. We've got symphony instruments that I've never heard before. I know I kind of touched on symphony stuff, and I'm, like I said, enjoying, Back in the USSR, which was a great rocker. And I missed that one. I meant to mention that was a good song, Back in the USSR. Great rocker, great Paul song, great vocals, great harmonies, great drumming by Ringo, Back in the USSR. So yeah, I mean, that was a good one. But Across the Universe just stood out as so beautifully done that it was just fantastic. So I really enjoyed Across the Universe. It really stood out as a song that I thoroughly got into. I enjoyed that a lot. And then Long and Winding Road after that segues right after Across the Universe. And Long and Winding Road is just perfect. It is. It is just perfect. It is so crisp with Paul and the piano and the strings and horns and all that. It just gave me chills. Just gave me chills. That's what it did. It's like a Southern Belle all of a sudden. Yeah, it just gave me chills. Yeah, it did. It did. It was just good. I'm just having fun with you. Got to make it light and fun, somehow. So, but yeah, Long and Winding Road, absolutely Chills. Oh, next song, Within You Without You. Oh, wow. I kind of have always enjoyed this song, but listening to it this way, it really sounded like a whole new song, and it sounded so totally different to me that it sounded just fantastic. And it's one of those to where I just kind of like, listen to this. You know, I want to pull my wife aside and say, hey, come on in, listen to this. This is fantastic. Listen to the vocals, listen to Ringo's drumming, listen to the guitars. I mean, what an absolutely fantastic song. And then to follow it up with my absolute classic favorite song, Hey Bulldog. Oh yeah, I just, Hey Bulldog is absolutely one of my ultimate favorite Beatles songs of all. And I just am so happy to hear this so mixed well and so well done that I really, really enjoyed that immensely. So, Hey Bulldog, yeah, good job Beatles on this one. I thoroughly enjoyed Hey Bulldog a whole lot. Yeah. So I just kind of picked out a few favorites that were here and there of kind of ones that I kind of liked and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot going on for the Red and Blue album, really is. There's some really great stuff out there. So much so that in England, Hornby, which, okay, I'm getting off track. Stay with me, don't tune me out yet. Hornby, who makes trains, made a red and blue boxcar, Beatles, and it's a limited edition. And yes, Beatle Brad's got that too, because I have a train set. So let me show you this exclusive rare limited edition Beatles boxcar for the Red and Blue album. So I know I'm showing you this and you're saying, no way!
Oh, yeah, way.
So there you go, the Red and Blue album. Brand new. I hope you got a copy or you're going to get a copy. But my review, I hope you enjoyed it. And as I say on my channel, I'm out of here. Take care, everybody. See you on the next video.